这次活动呢是由 InAmerica 在美教育主办的第3次国际 K-12私立名校展。那么我是今天的主持人 Cindy， 也是 InAmerica 负责 K-12项目的这个顾问老师哈。那么 InAmerica 呢是作为一家立足于纽约的教育咨询公司，致力于为来自全球各地的家庭提供最优秀的教育咨询服务，来帮助学生实现学生的这个梦想哈。那么在K-12教育的这个板块呢，也一直是InAmerica 非常关注的一个板块之一。那么在过去的几年当中呢，我们也是联合了来自于世界不同国家的这个顶尖的私立学校，举办过不同类型的展会和活动哈，也是通过这些活动为学生和家长提供更多了解私立学校和 K-12教育的一个平台。那么我们本次活动呢，一共是分为为期是4天，从美东时间的今天早上10点开始，一直持续到周五的9月24号的晚上。那么会有来自于美国和加拿大的22所顶尖的私立学校跟大家见面。那么其中包括了寄宿、走读等不同的类型学校，那么也涵盖了从幼儿园到高中的一个不同的一个年级哈。那么今天早上呢，我们的2场学校的讲座呢，也是收到了非常多家长的一些咨询哈，在展会上也进行了非常多的一个讨论。那么今天晚上呢，相信我们的晚上的这3所学校呢，也会给大家带来同样丰富的这个信息和精彩的一个分享。那么今天晚上呢，我们每所学校还是同样的有35分钟的一个分享。然后呢，是大概5到10分钟的一个问答的一个环节。那么在活动的这个期间呢，家长可以先把您的问题发送到聊天室。那么在每所学校结束后的这个问答环节哈，我们会由学校的老师来一一去解答。那么新加入的家长呢，或者是说现在在听的家长哈，都是咱们也要注意一下哈，稍微这个静音一下。那么我们今天的第1所学校呢，就是这个 Athol College of Notre Dame， 这是一所呢来自于加拿大的非常著名的一个私立学校。这所学校呢是位于加拿大的中部。那么学校呢也是在这个培养学生的一些领导力那么在品格方面的培养也是非常非常的关注尤其值得一提的是呢，这所学校有非常著名的一个冰球项目。那么相信这个有一些家庭有一些学生哈，也是在这方面这个有自己的一个热情。那么这所学校应该是最适合的哈。他们学校也是培养了非常多在加拿大著名的一些冰球的运动员。我们今天跟大家见面的呢是负责国际招生的老师Mr. Brinzen。Hi, Mr. Brinzen. Do you want to we are going to start the presentation. Really appreciate for your, joining us in evening time. We are very excited to hear from you about Notre Dame in the next 35 minutes. You could turn on your camera and start when you are ready. So I wonder if you wanted to share this the PowerPoint presentation. You can, turn it on, share the screen from your computer. I think that might be easier for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just let me get this set up here. Hopefully it'll work. Cindy, can you please let me know is that working for you?
Yes, I think it's working perfectly. Thank you.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today. My name is Randy Brenzen. I'm the International Admissions Officer at Athol College of Notre Dame in Wilcox, Saskatchewan, Canada. So going through all the schools that were on the list there that Cindy was explaining, it looks like we might be the only one from Canada. So I'm very excited to present to you today here. And again, thank you very much for taking the time. We are Athol College of Notre Dame, and Luctor et Emergo is basically our saying that struggle and emerge. And our students have struggled and emerged successfully for over 100 years here at Notre Dame. Our mission is we at Athol College of Notre Dame provide an exceptional educational and boarding experience with a balance of strong academic, athletic, and spiritual growth, in a safe and caring prairie environment. Now, the biggest important thing there is safe and caring environment. We look after your son or daughter when they come over to our school for the entirety of their stay here. They're safe, they're cared for, they're comfortable, they're happy, and we hope that you as parents would also be that way. And Cindy, I believe you said you're going to translate some?
Yeah, sure. I think that's very important. I agree with you. 那么刚刚学校老师也介绍了哈，对于学校对于就是他们学校来讲，非常重要的是希望能够让学生在一个非常安全的和这个充满关怀的一个氛围当中成长哈所以呢，不但是提供非常强的这个学术项目哈很重要的是也非常关注学生的这种心理成长。那么学校致力于为学生去提供一个非常轻松的、舒适的一种学习和生活的环境。
Thank you. We'll go over the next slide here. So it's our vision now. And Athol Murray College of Notre Dame is committed to developing young men and women to become purposeful leaders with virtuous character. So we just want every one of our young men and women who graduate to move on and be those people that everyone looks forward to for leadership, whether they're doctors or CEOs or athletes or politicians. We want them to be someone who is viewed as a leader and as kind of like a local hero, if you can, someone who always goes by the truth and always goes by honesty. And that's what we want for our graduates.
Yeah, thank you. 对，刚才学校老师也介绍了哈，学校非常关注培养就是有这种品德高尚的能够就是品德高尚的未来的一个领导者哈，我觉得这个是对于学生的品德的培养哈，校风是非常非常好的。那么刚刚学校老师也介绍了一下他们学校的这个座右铭哈那么他翻译过来其实用中文来讲就是在挑战中成长哈，我觉得非常棒。
So a little bit of information now on Notre Dame. So we're a co-educational private boarding high school for students in grades 9 through to grade 12. We are rooted in the Catholic tradition, but we are open to students of all faiths, beliefs, and backgrounds. In fact, only about 50% of our students are Catholic, and same with our staff. So we have students who are Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, atheist, all sorts of backgrounds, all at Notre Dame. We just truly want students who are going to be the best that they can be and that want to become leaders and influential people. If they want to be the best, that's what we want. We have 270 students from about 15 different countries. Russia, China, Switzerland, USA are some of our larger communities. And we are located in a small community called Wilcox, Saskatchewan. It's more of a village. It's a nice, quiet, secluded, safe, caring area. And then I'll do the other half here right away, Cindy, if you want to translate.
Yeah, sure. I can translate all together. Yeah.
Okay. We are established in 1920, so we just celebrated our 100-year anniversary just last year, which is fantastic. And we were established by the Sisters of Charity of St. Louis as St. Augustine School. We were later named Athol Murray College of Notre Dame in honor of Father Murray, Père as we call him, who really came to Notre Dame in 1927 and stayed here up until his death in 74 or 75, and really brought our school forward and advanced it very far into the future and has done an amazing job for us. And we are a university prep school. We have a campus life. 85 to 90% of our students live on campus in the dorms. Most of them are English speaking. So if you speak English as a second language, you're going to see a massive improvement over just even 1 year from being a beginner to nearly fluent. We have 5 or 6 different buildings for classrooms. So you get that true university experience prior to actually attending university. So when you get there, you're not surprised by how to activate and how to live within a university campus. So we're very good at providing an experience for our kids for that. So
yeah, That's very important. Okay, so let me just translate. 那么刚刚呢，学校老师也介绍了一下学校的一些基本信息。那么他们是一所混合的寄宿学校，是从9到12年级哈。那么学校呢，最开始是一个就是有天主教就是背景的，从天主教背景的这样的一个传统开始的哈。但是呢，刚才老师也提了，那么欢迎来自不同的这个信仰，甚至于没有信仰的学生去加入到这样的一个社区当中哈。他们学校大概是一半的学生或者是说老师是有这样的一个宗教背景，但他们也有非常多的学生来自于不同宗教的。刚才也提到了哈，无论是这个犹太教，还有什么其他的哈。或者是不信教的，这个学校都没有一个就是说一个强制的一个要求。那么现在学生有270个学生，来自于15个不同的一个国家哈。他们学校呢是在这个加拿大的一个中部的一个小的一个城市哈，非常安静、安全，适于学习和生活的这样的一个小镇。那么学校呢，到现在为止已经是100年的历史，也是非常有传统的一所学校哈。那么刚才学校老师也强调了，他们是一所就是大学预备学校。那么这个可能从不同的一个角度去讲，那么后面我们可能也会听到更多的关于课程其他方面的一些信息。但是刚才也提了，他们基本上80%的学生是寄宿的，那么它的校园的一些设置整个的环境非常像大学，所以呢在这所学校学习4年应该是能够很好的帮助学生从高中到大学的一个过渡。那么他也提到了很多国际学生到这边来以后呢，其实英文的这个进步也非常非常的大，因为学校的这种小的这种社区人数哈，其实是给学生提供了非常好的一个语言环境。从刚开始可能有的学生的英文没有那么好哈，到后面的英语是非常非常流利的。Sure.
Thank you. So why should you choose Notre Dame? So we have a safe and caring prairie environment. I had mentioned that several times, and it'll keep coming up because it's such an important thing. In fact, our residents of our community don't even need to lock their car doors or their home doors while they are away because it's such a safe community. We have minimal distractions. So a lot of our students come here and they're sent here by their families, or they choose to come here because they want to focus on their academics and their athletics. Those are their two biggest things in their lives. We have minimal distractions to ensure that our students can focus directly on all of their important things that they want to focus on. So we don't have the shopping centers, we don't have the big restaurants and the cinemas to go that our students would go to and be distracted by. We have our sports, we have our community, we have our Notre Dame Hound family. We call ourselves a family. Everyone's on a first name basis. And it's a wonderful environment to have your students not just reach their goals, but surpass them. It's also an opportunity for our students to focus on becoming their best selves through their academic, athletic, co-curricular, spiritual, and social activities. A huge thing too, they can make friends from around the world. You can not just make friends, but establish relationships that might benefit you kind of throughout your professional career after you're done high school, after you're done university, and you're in that business world where you might know someone in Germany who can help you with a project or something like that.
Yeah.
We have the small classroom sizes. We average only 16 students to 1 teacher on average. And again, it prepares you for university and college. A lot of times, our students will go to university and then they'll come back here for a visit, or they'll call and say, hey, Notre Dame really prepared us for this university. Our students, or our fellow students currently at freshmen, are struggling, but I've done this for 2 or 3 or 4 years already, and I know exactly what to expect. So they're very happy once they finish at Notre Dame to go on to university because they're very well prepared.
Yeah. OK. 那么老师刚才也分享了哈，学校因为是一个就是非常非常安全和一个就很紧密的一个小的一个社区。他刚才也提到了哈，那么从这个小的师生比例也来讲也好哈，或者是整个的这个社区来讲，就是学生在这边学习能够感受到真的是那种大集体、大家庭的这样的一个氛围哈。那么因为学校呢，它是在一个比较安静的一个 这个类似于郊区的一种氛围当中，所以学生呢周边没有什么很多的这种就是不同的吸引你注意力的哈，就是能够让你比较安心的在学校这边学习啊。那么因为学校这边的学术和体育这两块呢也是非常非常的强，那么学生能够比较专注在这两个部分哈。当然，因为学校也是非常多来自于不同世界就各地不同的这个学生啊，所以呢，学生在这边学习也能够交到可能能够受益终身的一些好朋友啊，所以这也是学校一直在强调的一个这样的一个社区的一个氛围。
So spiritual life at Notre Dame, I had mentioned we are rooted in the Catholic traditions. So all of our students do take a Christian ethics class, and it's just a class that they could explore spiritual questions and truths, where they would form a foundation of interpersonal strength in a way that is relevant to teenage life. Basically, they learn about Christianity, they learn about Catholicism, but they also learn about other spiritualities, other beliefs. A big one here in Canada would be the Creator, Turtle Island, and the First Nations Indigenous beliefs, which is a pretty interesting way to learn about things. So we have weekly mass, we have ecumenical services. So we might bring in a Buddhist monk, or we might bring in a united pastor or a Muslim leader to come and speak to our students as well on a Sunday. There's opportunities to volunteer during Mass. They can meet the locals at Mass and the wonderful brunch served after. And there's an opportunity just for quiet reflection throughout the church. All of our students do say the Lord's Prayer and Hail Mary daily. It takes about a minute each time. We have weekly gospel assemblies in the church on a Wednesday. So that would just be your regular assembly with more of a spiritual flair, which the kids really get into because there's a lot of singing. And not all of our students are good singers, but together they sound nice. There's also an opportunity to deliver student reflection at the assembly. And all of our Notre Dame sports teams, they do recite a prayer prior to the event taking place. They say a basic prayer that we have, but also they pray for, everyone to be safe and healthy and there's no injuries and all sorts of things. And again, rooted in the Catholic tradition, but accepting of everybody, regardless of your faith, religion, or belief. Notre Dame is a place for you because we're very open to everybody.
Yeah. 那么刚刚老师也讲了一下，那么因为大师最开始是有一个这个天主教的这样的一个传统的一个背景的，所以呢，就是会有一些关于就是这方面的宗教的一些了解的一些课程，但是更多的呢是就是说历史文化的一些了解。他刚才也提到了学校也会经常去要求来自于不同这个宗教的一些人到学校去做一些讲座哈。那么这样的一个传统呢，更多的是给学生提供一些就是心灵上的、精神上的一些自省啊这些东西哈。它不是说就是一个去让你去信教或者怎么样哈。他这边也稍微解释一下那么相信对于就是西方的这个私立学校比较了解的家庭，也对这些的一些具体一些安排应该是有所了解的。
So academics, this is arguably the most important thing at our school and at any school for that matter. With our academics, we have a very professional, highly educated and motivated academic faculty with our teachers, and they provide our students with a unique learning experience. Everybody's on a first name basis. And in fact, we have a couple of instructors that do things called flipped classrooms where they'll teach the class and record it. And then the classroom time will be designated for homework, where they could watch the video of him teaching after class, in their spare time, so that they have more time to actually speak to the instructor and get help with their questions if they need it. Again, we have smaller class sizes, averaging 16 to 1. We have availability of teacher-guided learning support. So we have things occasionally in the mornings where students can go and access their teacher, but especially after school, we have teachers that are available for all of our students from the end of school until curfew, all weekdays, and throughout the weekend, the entire day on the weekend, we have teachers available for our students for extra help. In case they wanted to, ask a question on a Sunday to a teacher, they have that ability. That's also your extra help outside of class time and daily supervised time. We have a full university and career counselor here at Notre Dame as well. She's also our English as an additional language teacher. So our international students really get to know Tracy very well. And she'll help plan their path to university, what school they want to go to, what they want to focus on and what they want to study, and then how to apply and maybe how to visit as well. And we'll get into that a little later about visiting some of the Canadian universities. If our students want to study in the United States, we do have SATs and ACTs written on campus, so they don't have to leave the school to go to a testing facility. We have it here as the facility. And last year, this is one of my favorite stats we have, 78% of all of our students were on the honor roll with honors marks, including 40 of 44 graduates last year. So most of our students were honor students with over 80% averages cumulative. So very, very proud of our students with that.
Okay. Just I wanted to clarify, the honor roll means the student achieve a certain academic standard?
Yes. You have honor roll, and then you have your excellence roll. Honor roll is anybody who gets an 80% or higher, which is a remarkable mark.
I see.
Cumulative, all of their grades put together.
Wow, that's very good. Thank you. OK， 那么刚刚老师也提了哈，那么他们学校的老师也都是就是非常有经验的，他们的教育背景也非常非常的这个高。那么他也同时提到了的确是学校老师非常专注于教育哈。那么刚才也提到这个有非常多的这个学生能够从老师除了课堂以外除了在课堂上以外呢，也能够非常多获得老师的一个帮助。他刚才提到是有些学生早上起来哈，老师有时间，他如果有需要帮忙也会去去找老师去问一些学术方面的这些问题。那么当然课后哈，一直到熄灯的这个期间那么周末这些时间都是就是非常就是学校老师能够给学生提供非常多学术上的一个帮助。那么另外呢，学校的这边也提到了有这个 SAT 和 SAT 和 ACT 的一个考试的这个考点哈。那么对于有些学生是希望考这个这个美国的大学的，也可以在学校进行这个考试。另外呢，他也分享了一个非常我觉得很令人觉得这个就是 impressive 的一个数字哈，就是说他们过去在这个去年，他们78%的学生都是在学校的这个 honor roll。honor roll 呢是说你的成绩要在就是你整体的就所有的分数所有的科目加起来要在80%的这个比例以上才能获得，那说明学校的这个教学的品质培养出来的这个学术的品质是非常非常高的。
Academics continued. We are 21st century learners here at Notre Dame. So what I mean by that is all of our students study on their own tablet that they would bring with them. The tablet has Microsoft OneNote installed, but it's also a touch screen with a stylus. So they can actually do their math homework as well on the tablets. And these tablets replace your books and your binders, your pens, papers, textbooks. Like when we went to school as children, we had to carry that 20-kilogram backpack around. Our students don't have to do that anymore. This makes their organization a lot easier, their schoolwork easier for them to access, and they can hand their homework in from anywhere. So if they go home, say to China, to Beijing, for example, and have homework to do, they could submit their homework from their coffee or lunch table in Beijing. Our tablets auto-save with every change. So if a student is typing an essay out and needs to make a change, it will automatically save that. And our online platform also allows our parents to actually see their students' schedule, their grades, and interact with their teachers through an instant messaging system. So you're always able to reach out to the instructors and the teachers, see your students' grades up to the minute. So if they got a 95% on a math test or they didn't hand in an English assignment, you can see that and call them and say, hey, what's going on here? Our tablets are wonderful features for our students, and they really love them. And a lot of them, when they graduate, opt to purchase one or bring their own one to university and continue studying that way.
Okay. So this computer is this tablet is provided by your school, or student needed to bring?
They would bring their own. we used to provide them, but Fujitsu, the company that we worked with, withdrew from North America. So we're trying to find a provider, but in the BYOB.
Yeah, but all this software, like I think important to definitely help them to get better adjusted to the university. Yeah,
absolutely.
那么老师也刚才特别提到了哈，那么学校呢，这个学生就包括他们的各种这个作业呀，然后跟老师的一些沟通交流，都是会在这个电脑上来进行哈。那么他们也会提供非常好的一些软件来帮助学生去完成所有的课业各种这个学习相关的一些安排哈。那么这样的一个安排呢，也是帮助学生能够更好的去适应这种这个我们现在可能到了大学以后，你都会需要适应的一些用这个电脑啊这种电子产品去完成所有的这个学业哈。所以这点上学校也是就是这个做的安排非常的好。
So boarding life, and again, thank you very much, Cindy. I'm going to say it a lot. I greatly appreciate everything you're doing.
You're welcome. No worries. Yeah.
So for our boarding life, 85% of our students live on campus in one of our 5 dormitories. So we have Fred Hill Up and Fred Hill Down, Max Bell, Doc Seaman, and then our female dorm called Mother Teresa. Each dorm has a house parent and multiple assistants. So what their house parent is, it's basically you, the parents, when you're not able to be there. They're there to help your student with homework, to make sure that they're taking medication if they're feeling ill, to ensure that they're cleaning up after themselves and they're keeping their room clean. And if anybody breaks any rules, like school rules, they're there to enforce that and maybe issue some hours, which would be like sweeping the halls or something, and making sure that they're being properly disciplined fairly and respectfully. The house parents are amazing people, they're staff, and they live in with the students. Whenever they're in the dorms, they're living with them in there. Their actual physical house is attached to the dorms. So even when they're not on, they're still basically in the dorms anyway, because their backyard, their back door is actually entering into the dorms.
Okay.
Each house parent has a group of grade 12 senior students called house leaders, who are basically the older brothers and sisters of our other students. So they're there to assist the house parents with ensuring that the students clean up after themselves, but they're also there to be a peer to go and maybe speak with if they're missing home, or if they're sad, or if something happened, an altercation with another schoolmate. Those house leaders are there to help them out and basically be that older sibling to look after them and make them comfortable. A huge thing here is convenient living. Everything on campus is within a 5-minute walk. So you can get from math class to drama class in 5 minutes. You can get from the soccer field and the football field to the gymnasium in 5 minutes. Everything is very close and everything is self-sufficient. It's a wonderful place. We do have on-campus social activities, but we also do van trips to surrounding communities like Regina and Moose Jaw. So they'll take a group of students and they might go bowling or go to the cinema in the city on the weekend, so that they can get out and have fun and maybe go some shopping and everything. And we also have an amazing healthcare facility here, staffed by registered nurses and licensed practical nurses. They're there if maybe somebody needs to go to isolation because they have the flu, or if they need to go see a specialist in the city or a dentist or somebody like that. Our staff, RNs and LPNs, will actually take them to their appointments. They will take notes and they will communicate with the family or the agency, whoever's representing that student, constantly, so that they know everything that's going on. Amazing nurses we have over there.
Okay. 那么学校老师也刚刚介绍了一下校园的住宿的一个这个基本的一些信息啊。那么85%的学生都是住在这个学校的。学校有5个这个宿舍哈，那么每个宿舍都是有这个寄宿的这个负责管理的这些教职工。那么还有一些学生会在学校这个宿舍里面作为一个就是这种小帮手哈。那么为所有的学生提供一个非常 就是温暖的一个氛围。那么学生有任何的问题哈，不但是这些宿舍管理的这些教职工能够去帮助学生做一些就是帮助学生一些作业方面、学术方面的一些问题哈。那么在学生也在身体不舒服呀这些问题出现的时候，他们都是提供非常好的照顾哈。那么学校的校园也有校医，就是各方面的安排都是非常细致和全面的。
High school athletics, and I'm going to go quicker because we're running out of time here. We have 12 different athletic sports, not including ice hockey. We have a huge ice hockey program, and I'll get into that after. Rugby, basketball, and football, American football, tackle football are three of our stronger sports. And we encourage multi-sport athletes. A lot of our students have found quite a bit of success after high school, professionally and at the collegiate level, at the university level, in many of their sports. And a lot of time they travel throughout Canada and into the United States when allowed. And we offer sports like baseball, basketball, ultimate frisbee, volleyball, softball, sorts of sports like that.
Wow, okay. A lot of options here. 那么刚刚老师也特别强调了学校的体育项目是非常非常强的哈。有12个不同的这种体育队哈，除了这个冰球以外，那么冰球后面呢会着重再说一下。那么学校比较强的3个项目是这个就是美式橄榄球。Rugby 应该叫英式橄榄球，还有呢就是篮球是他们非常非常强的啊，这个是除了这个冰球以外，那么很多学生毕业了以后呢，都会到大学的这个阶段去继续打这个去做做这项运动哈，那很多学生也是成为了这个专业的运动员。
So with our basketball program, and I'm just going to touch over this, we could ask questions if you have any specific questions after. We do have 10 spots available in both the male and female program. And we have quite a few students who move on to the post-secondary level, like Athol and Athol on the top there, and then Jayshawn Henry, both Division I athletes who received full scholarships for basketball. They have team training in the weight room. They have a strength and conditioning coach, and the students actually earn a credit for their high performance physical education class here. And again, they may end up traveling throughout Canada and the US showcasing their abilities.
Okay. 对，这个呢，就他特别讲了一下他们的这个篮球的项目是非常非常的好。那么很多学生在毕业以后都是进入了职业的这个应该是这个大学级别的这个篮球队哈，也拿到了学校的这个奖学金。
So Hounds ice hockey. Ice hockey is a huge sport at our school. We have arguably the strongest development program in the world. We have 11 ice hockey teams at our school, 9 on the boys' side and 2 on the girls' side. We have the most national championships out of all teams in Canada, which is a very impressive stat. Over 100 of our students have represented their countries internationally, and over 200 Hounds have been drafted or signed by the world's largest hockey league, the National Hockey League. They also get a physical education, hockey education credit for their involvement in this program, which takes over their regular physical education class. We currently have 2 students from China in our hockey program, as well as students from Korea, from Taiwan, Russia, Canada, USA, and many other countries.
Wow, that's very impressive. 11 teams. 对，那么学校老师也着重的去讲了一下学校的这个冰球项目哈，这个冰球项目是他们学校真的非常棒的。他们一共有11支球队啊，那么有不同的这个级别，有9个男生的队伍，2个女生的这个team 哈。那么他刚才也提了，那么他们学校的项目应该在全加拿大甚至全世界来讲，应该是这个冰球项目应该是在高中这个阶段是最棒的，因为他的确是培养了非常非常多的这个就是专业的这个运动员哈。那么他们像超过200个这个就是他们的球员被就是挑选到这个国际冰球联盟赛里面去打这个冰球啊。他说现在这个阶段他们有2个中国的学生也在学校的冰球队里，所以冰球是他们学校非常非常强的一个项目。对。
So student facilities, we have a Gerald Meyer Training Center. This is a state-of-the-art training facility. It's basically our gym where our students work out. They have access to these facilities basically after school until curfew, with a time between 6 to 7:15 where it's mandatory study time and all of our students are in the classroom studying. We have the Pairs Activity Center, which is a co-ed activity center where students can play pool, they can do air hockey, watch TV, ping pong tables, kind of a multi-purpose recreational area. And then, of course, for our hockey players, an off-ice skills facility with a lot of opportunities to go and improve their skills tenfold.
Okay, that's very good. So I think due to our time, I don't know if there is more important information you want to share a little bit.
We'll go on, sorry to interrupt, Cindy. I will find a couple of the important slides.
Okay.
And go through those because I see we have 30.
We need to cut it down maybe a little bit on Q&A session in that case. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
No, that's all right.
Sure.
I see we're 32 minutes into the 35 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
So co-curricular programs, we have things like drama, choir, music, and house teams, Woodchopper, Gunner, Badger, and Marauder, and then our Works of Mercy outreach.
这学校提供非常多的不同的这个其他课外活动哈，包括摄影啊、戏剧啊这些各种不同的活动，音乐。
One big thing we have now is our esports program. We're the first school in Saskatchewan to offer this. And this is an official team sport. Over 200 colleges and universities offer over $15 million in esports. And it's a great opportunity for our non-athletic students to be on a team and learn teamwork and do leadership skills. It's an amazing program. We've seen our students go from, not paying attention very much in some of the sports to being leaders and very vocal, excited people.
Yeah. 那么刚才学校也老师也提到了，就是有很多学生的毕业了，也是在大学这个阶段哈，都是拿到了非常多的这个奖学金哈，也是有很多学生是通过这个体育项目。
Canadian University Cities Tour. This is a new program that we're offering. It's designed for our international students to travel throughout Canada to visit the universities and the campuses of Canadian universities, whether it's McGill or the University of Toronto or UBC out in British Columbia. They'll tour the communities, tour the school with their admissions officers, and then also experience the culture of the community, whether that's through a museum or a play or something like that. And this is an extra cost, but it allows for our students to see what universities they may want to study at.
Well, I think that's important. 那么刚刚也提到了，学校这边会有一个就专门的大学的一个这种就是旅行的一个安排哈，就是参访的一个安排。那么学生，特别是国际学生，可以参加这样的项目去参观不同的学校，了解这个加拿大这边的一些大学哈。这个也是非常重要的。So I think I'm sorry, Mr. Brenzy. I think we have to cut it here. Because I know there's a lot of good information, but because of the time limits, we are having, other school is waiting.
Of course.
So there's some questions. I'm gonna, kind of like pick some that is, like not covered during the presentation. And yeah.
Yeah, and can we just ask this? I just want to do this one. It's the
sure.
It's the tuition, sorry. Our international tuition is $40,000 plus the $11,000 boarding fee. So that's 51,000 Canadian dollars, which is significantly lower than a lot of universities and a lot of schools, high schools.
Oh yeah.
And then if they play ice hockey, it's $6,000 extra for that. So $51,000 would be our starting tuition, and that's a Canadian dollar. So when you transfer it over to American, it's even lower.
Oh, okay. That's a very good, yeah. 后面最后一点呢，学校老师也是要去分享的，就是他们学校的学费哈。那么国际学生这边呢，就是加了寄宿的费用在一起的话，大概是51000加币哈，就是整体上来讲还是费用非常非常的这个合适的哈。那么当然有学生如果去参加这个冰球的话呢，会额外有一个$6000的一个费用哈。那么他觉得这个信息非常重要，也是分享给大家。Sure. Okay. So I'm gonna pick a few, maybe one or two questions. So one question is, if the student has no kind of like a sports, really strong at a sports, do you think when they apply to your school, does that put them in a disadvantage, like a kind of a position?
No, that's a great question. No,
Yeah.
We have many students that come as well who are non-athletic, who come specifically for our academics and for the ability to focus because of our location. So no, you do not have to play a sport to come to Notre Dame. We have students, especially international students who come, who want to focus on academics, get the best grades they can so that they can get into universities like Yale and Harvard and Brown, which we've had students committed to or attend even in the last few years. So.
OK, yeah. 那么刚才有一个家长在群里也在问说，如果没有什么体育特长，是不是申请这个学校不太占优势？那么老师也说了，也不是说学校就是以体育见长的啊。那么很多学生到学校就是为了专注于他的学习啊。那么他们过去的毕业生当中也有非常多的申请到了像美国的这样的藤校的大学哈。所以呢，这个部分呢，并不是说你一定要是这个体育特别有特长，是这样的概念哈。I think that probably the most I think the best, not best, the question I think is not really covered there. For all the other questions we already mentioned during this presentation. Really appreciate your time, Mr. Brenzy. I'm sorry, I wish we could give you a little bit more time, but it's just we have other, we need to kind of stick to the schedule. Really appreciate your time, this evening and sharing with us, all this good information about Notre Dame. So later on, we will, because if the students and parents have more questions, we'll make sure to deliver that information to you, and then let's keep in touch. I really appreciate your time. Good night. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you very much, Cindy. Thank you all for taking the time to listen. I'm sorry we couldn't get through the whole presentation. Cindy, if there's anybody who would like to reach out, by all means, provide all of my contact information.
Sure.
Everyone is allowed to welcome to contact me.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.